Welcome back to the Infinite. It's been a while. Glad to have you back. Sometime we will go over the entire story of where I've been and what's happened over the last 2 or 3 years that it's been since we hopped on one of these videos. But on the bright side, I am back, and I'm really looking forward to getting back into these videos a little bit. So now's kind of a perfect time to do so. What I want to chat about in today's video is probably the rumor that's most likely to come true the soonest scheduled rumor, and that is the iPhone 15. The iPhone 15 is scheduled to come out next month, so we're mid-August right now. The iPhone 15 is scheduled to come out early to mid-September. Now, there's a lot of things rumored with the iPhone 15. I want to go off of just some of the top highlights and talk to you about why I'm going to be getting the newest iPhone 15, and I'm really excited about it. Currently, I have an iPhone 12. This is the space gray iPhone 12. I'll be honest, I think that this color of iPhone is probably the worst color that they've done in recent memory. I literally only got it because my one friend already had the white one and my other friend already had the Pacific blue, and I didn't really want to go straight up gold. I wasn't quite that brave. So I ended up going with this space gray. But the latest iPhones in space black actually look a lot better than this. So here's hoping that the iPhone 15 comes out with some great colors, including in a good shade of black and not like this creamy green or whatever this was, because this is not black. This is like I honestly have never liked this color, which is really too bad when you spend this much money on a phone. Okay, but let's talk about things that we know for sure are coming to the iPhone 15. And of course, when I say we know for sure, it's that they're probably coming to the iPhone 15. The first thing we're going to see on the iPhone 15 are smaller bezels. Now, the current bezels on the iPhone are not bad at all. You can see that they're actually very slick, and yes, I've still got the 12 Pro, so no dynamic island yet, but that is also something I'm looking forward to. But the bezels on the new iPhone 15 Pro are really thin. Like, we're talking really thin. And do you remember when we thought the iPad Pro bezels were really thin? I still think that they're thin, and you want to have some room for like your thumbs to hold onto the iPad. But the phone is different, right? You hold the phone in the back, kind of like this. At least this is how I hold mine. Share in the comments if you hold it differently. iPhone, you don't really need to worry about your fingers holding onto the display. The display could be as thin as you want. The whole front in Jony Ive's vision is just one big display of glass. So they're going to be getting closer to that vision with the iPhone 15 Pro. Speaking of vision, just kidding, we won't go there right now. Next up, it's said to be getting a titanium frame instead of the current stainless steel frame. Now, I happen to be a big fan of the stainless steel frame. I think that it looks really great, especially in the way that it reflects things, and it just looks awesome. But apparently titanium is the material for the newest iPhones. It's going to be lighter, that's nice, and then it's going to be just look different. So it's a way for people to differentiate you have the newest iPhone. Now, the Apple Watch Ultra is also made out of titanium, so that could be a way to kind of see what that might look like. And while we're talking about the Apple Watch Ultra, let me go right on to the next feature that the iPhone 15 Pro is rumored to have, and that is an action button. An action button. What is an action button? Again, we could talk about the Apple Watch Ultra. Now, you'd think that Apple would limit this to just a few functions because they're Apple, and they kind of did. But one of the key functions they included in there is the ability to activate a shortcut when you press the action button. Now, this is huge because it basically lets you do anything. As you know, shortcuts are super diverse. So probably the biggest feature that the action button on the iPhone has going for you is the ability to run a shortcut. Now, the action button is also contextually aware of whatever app you're using at the time on the Apple Watch, which is really cool. So if you're in the workout app, for example, you can use it to start a workout. So really awesome stuff with the action button. This is probably the biggest feature coming to the iPhone 15 Pro that we can look forward to. I think that the action button will come to more devices in the future as well. Like, I could see it being really useful on the Apple Vision Pro, for example. I think the iPad Pro could really make use of the action button. I think the MacBook, probably the least out of all of them, since you already have so much capability and so many buttons on there. But still, I think this action button is going to be seen in more places than just the new iPhone 15 and on the Apple Watch. One other thing that I do want to add, and this is probably the downside of the action button, is that the action button is rumored to be taking over the mute switch. So in case you don't know, iPhones are basically the only phone nowadays with a mute switch still included on them. It's kind of crazy because it's something that I personally use all the time, and I really like having this feature, but a lot of other people don't use the mute switch at all. They just leave their phone always in mute, and then they toggle the switch once when they first get their iPhone, and then they never use it again. So I can see the thinking behind it, but I do think that the mute switch is a big benefit of the iPhone. Something that I love about the mute switch is being able to have it in my pocket, not even needing to pull my phone out, and being able to tell whether or not my phone is muted. If I'm in a setting where I really don't want my phone to be going off, but also it'd be kind of impolite to pull out my phone, that mute switch is an awesome feature. So I do hope that even if the action button can have some of that mute functionality, for example, if you're on the lock screen and you press the action button, it does something different than when you've already unlocked your phone. That would be great. That different thing would of course be muting your phone. And then I want some sort of haptics or something to tell me, hey, your phone is muted. You're not going to be getting any notification. Now, one more thing that I want to note here is all of these buttons are rumored to be going haptic feedback rather than actual physical feedback. So I can actually come in here and these buttons are literally getting pressed down as I do it. They're literal buttons. Let me show you this on the other hand. This is Apple's Magic Trackpad. You can hear that it's actually clicking, but the crazy thing is the trackpad itself is not clicking. These are just haptics that the trackpad is using to make it feel like it's clicking, but it's not actually clicking. So that's haptic feedback. Those are rumored to be on the new iPhone buttons as well. And now I have a bunch of things up on my computer because I clicked all around. All right, last up is USB-C instead of Lightning. Now, this is something that Apple's going to be doing because the EU is basically forcing them to do it, which I'm personally not a fan of, although I would be a fan of USB-C on the iPhone. Super convenient. But in a very Apple-like way, the rumor is that it's not going to be full USB-C, so they're going to be limiting it. And if you don't have an MFi cable, which is MFi is made for iPhone cable, then it's not going to work the same as if you did. So it's basically still going to be Lightning, but the good thing is that we'll probably now have at least a single cord that can still work across iPad, iPhone, Mac. So, and hopefully some other devices in the future. One device that I would love to see get USB-C is my AirPods Max here, because these are still on Lightning, and it's actually really frustrating because I charge my phone wirelessly when I'm on the go, but I need a Lightning cable literally just for these. And then the Apple Watch, of course, too, has its own proprietary cable, which is a little frustrating. If that could be done via USB-C as well, that'd be great. But point is, iPhone is rumored to be getting USB-C, so we'll see what it looks like, but it's not going to be as exciting as everybody thinks USB-C is going to be because it's Apple and they're going to limit it, I think. And I said that was last of all, but really last of all is better cameras. Personally, I know some people really get into this. Obviously, I like cameras, but cameras on the iPhone, they're good enough. They're still not going to be as good as like a mirrorless or a DSLR or like a film camera if you get any of those. And I shouldn't say as good as, but they're different. The cameras improving on the iPhone really aren't that big of a deal to me personally. Apparently there's going to be a new zoom camera that's going to be coming in that gives 5 to 10 times zoom, which would be cool, I think. It's just I don't really use my phone to like zoom in very much. So we'll see. But those are all the highlight rumors that I've got right now for the iPhone 15 Pro or Ultra or whatever they end up deciding to call it. I'm super glad to be back on the channel, and you can look forward to a lot more videos in the future from the Infinite based on all Apple news, rumors, and tech news in general. Yeah, and I'm just looking right now. It's been almost 3 years since I posted my last video, so I really appreciate all 357 subscribers who have stuck around. Originally, we had a goal of getting to 1,000 subscribers in the first year of this channel being released, and considering the amount of time that the channel was active and then the amount of time that we still had left until the end of the year, I honestly think that we would have gotten there. And so thanks everybody, especially all 357 of you who stuck around. If I ever give out another giveaway or prizes or anything, it's going to be going to those 357 subscribers first. So continue to stick around because you'll likely get something if you do. So thanks for watching. Glad to be back, and I'll see you next time. Peace.